Now it's live, sir.
No. Now it's live.
Now it's live, sir.
Yeah.
No.
Now it's live.
Now it's live, sir.
Yes, it is.
No.
Now it's live.
Now it's live, sir.
Yes, it is.
No.
Now it's live.
Shall we start?
Yes, start Subodhji.
Namaskar and good evening, everyone. We are here today on this virtual platform to celebrate Foundation Day function of Akhil Bharatiya Adhivakta Parishad. Today's function is organized by Supreme Court Unit of Adhivakta Parishad. Supreme Court Unit of Adhivakta Parishad welcomes you all for the today's program. Friends, as per the tradition, before we start our program, we'll recite Vande Mataram. And for reciting Vande Mataram, I request Ms. Anvesha Devji, Member Executive, Adhivakta Parishad, Supreme Court Unit. Over to you, Anvesha ji.
Namaskar. Thank you, Subodhji. Vande Mataram. Vande Mataram. Sujala Sufala Malayaj Shitala Shashya Shamala Mataram Vande Mataram Vande Mataram Shubhra Jyotsna Pulakitayaminim Pulya Kusumita Drumadala Shobhinim Suhasinim Sumadhura Bhashinim Sukhadam Varadam Mataram Vande Mataram Vande Mataram Koti Koti Kantha Kal Kal Ninad Karale Koti Koti Bhujai Dhruta Khar Karwale के बोले माँ तुम्हें अबले बहुबल धारिणीम नमामि तारिणीम रिपुदल वारिणीम मातरम वंदे तुम्हें हृदय तुम्हें मर्म त्वां हि प्राणा शरीरे बाहुते तुम्हें मां शक्ति हृदय तुम्हें मां भक्ति तुम्हारे प्रतिमा गढ़ मंदिरे मंदिरे वंदे मातरम वंदे मातरम त्वां हि दुर्गा दश प्रहरन धारिणीं कमला कमलदल विहारिणीं वाणी विद्या दायिनीं नमामि त्वां नमामि कमलां अमलां अतुलां सुजलां सुफलां मातरं वन्दे मातरं वन्दे मातरम् श्यामलां सरलां सुष्मितां भूषितां धरणिं भरणिं मातरं वन्दे मातरं वन्दे मातरं वन्दे मातरम। भारत माता की जय।
Thank you, Anvesha ji. Moving further, I would request Ms. Ankita Chaudhary ji, Joint Secretary Akhil Bharatiya Adhivakta Parishad Supreme Court Unit, to give welcome address. Over to you, Ankita.
करते हैं तन मन से वंदन जनगण मन की अभिलाषा का, अभिनंदन अपनी संस्कृति का, आराधन अपनी भाषा का। अधिवक्ता परिषद सर्वोच्च न्यायालय इकाई सभी को आज हिंदी दिवस के उपलक्ष्य में शुभकामनाएं और बधाई देती है। सभी को नमस्कार, प्रणाम। मैं अधिवक्ता परिषद सर्वोच्च न्यायालय इकाई की तरफ से हमारी आज की मुख्य अतिथि श्रीमती ज्योतिका कालरा जी और हमारे मुख्य वक्ता श्री के श्रीनिवास मूर्ति जी का और आप सभी का हृदय से स्वागत और अभिनंदन करती हूँ। अधिवक्ता परिषद सर्वोच्च न्यायालय इकाई को बधाई देती हूँ कि आज हमने YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram के माध्यम से एक नया अध्याय शुरू किया है। ये हमारी इकाई का सभी सोशल मीडिया प्लेटफॉर्म पर पहला कार्यक्रम है और मुझे ये बताते हुए बड़ी खुशी हो रही है, पिछले वर्ष भी हमारी इकाई का स्थापना दिवस कार्यक्रम इसी दिन इसी समय 14 सितंबर 5 बजे न्यू महाराष्ट्र सदन नई दिल्ली में मनाया गया था और हमारे कार्यकर्ताओं के संघर्ष और परिश्रम से इस वर्ष भी हम आज स्थापना दिवस मना रहे हैं। पिछले वर्ष हमें वरिष्ठ अधिवक्ता माननीय श्री UR ललित जी का उद्बोधन मिला था और इस वर्ष हमें श्रीमती ज्योतिका कालरा जी और श्री श्रीनिवास मूर्ति जी का मार्गदर्शन मिलेगा। आज का कार्यक्रम अखिल भारतीय अधिवक्ता परिषद के स्थापना दिवस के उपलक्ष्य में रखा गया है। अधिवक्ता परिषद की स्थापना 7 सितंबर 1992 में हुई थी और धीरे धीरे करते इस वृक्ष ने 28 वर्ष पूरे कर लिए हैं। अब कार्यक्रम को आगे बढ़ाते हुए मैं वापस सुबोध जी के पास जाती हूँ। धन्यवाद। जय हिंद, जय भारत।
Thank you, Ankita ji. Friends, as Ankita ji has told, that Adhivakta Parishad was founded on 7 September 1992 by an avid nationalist and a great visionary, Shri Dattopant Thengde ji. And we are celebrating this year as the birth centenary year of Shri Dattopant Thengde ji. Adhivakta Parishad's aim is to reach constitutional goals which was dreamt by our constitution makers. It also aims at inculcating Bharatiya values and Bharatiya idealism in the hearts and minds of advocates. As it has been told, a small plant has now grown into a big banyan tree. It has spread its branches all across the country and has taken into its shade thousands of lawyers. Friends, in order to achieve its goal, Adhivakta Parishad has organized several seminars, workshops, and periodic study circles, which have been very useful for thousands of advocates. It has given them the correct interpretation of law. Coming to today's speakers, we are very pleased to have Ms. Jyotika Kalra ji, member, National Human Rights Commission, as our guest of honor for today's program. We are very delighted to have Shri Sreenivasa Murthy ji, Working President of Akhil Bharatiya Adhivakta Parishad, as our keynote speaker for today's program. We specially thank Murthy ji for joining us today because there has been extreme weather conditions in Telangana. There have been thunderstorms all over the state. But despite of all odds, he is available here to guide us. Today's topic is also very interesting. Today's topic is also very interesting and it is full of positivity. The topic for today is transforming challenges into opportunities. However, before we start the address, I request Shri Pushpender Singh ji to give an introduction of Jyotika Kalra ji. Over to you, Pushpender.
Thank you, Subodhji. It is my pleasure to introduce Ms. Jyotika Kalra ji, who is sitting member of National Human Rights Commission. Jyotika Kalra ji has completed her Bachelor of Commerce from Delhi University and Bachelor of Law from Campus Law Center, Delhi University. She has completed her Masters of Law from Kurukshetra University. After completing her education, she enrolled herself as practicing advocate with Bar Council of Delhi and went on to become a leading advocate on record with the Honorable Supreme Court of India. In her short span of practice, she filed many important public interest litigations. One of them is raising the issue of non-recruitment of women in the armed forces that resulted in opening of opportunity for women in territorial army. In the past, she has enjoyed imparting knowledge as part-time lecturer in the Faculty of Law, University of Delhi, and IP College, Delhi University. As a passionate activist, she was associated with many NGOs. She was a member of many sexual harassment committees and has dealt with many sexual harassment complaints. She was appointed amicus curiae in important matters, some of them concerning violation of women's rights. She has been honored by the Supreme Court of India for her 3 books. She was given the award Outstanding Woman in 2014 by National Commission for Women. In 2017, Jyotika ji was appointed as a member of National Human Rights Commission. She has, to her credit, many paper publications which have been published not only in India but also abroad. Jyotika ji's sole motive is to spread her thoughts and ideas on issue related to women's rights and furtherance of same reach out to as many as people possible. I would like to invite Jyotika Kalra ji to enlighten us on today's topic. Over to you, Jyotika Kalra ji.
Thank you, Pushpender. And thank you very much to Akhil Bharatiya Adhivakta Parishad for giving me this opportunity. Respected Shri Sreenivasa Murthy ji, Working President, Akhil Bharatiya Adhivakta Parishad. I can't see, but in absentia, Joydeep Roy ji, Organizing Secretary, Shri Bharat Kumar ji, General Secretary, Akhil Bharatiya Adhivakta Parishad. And before I begin, I would extend my heartiest congratulations to Akhil Bharatiya Adhivakta Parishad for its Foundation Day celebrations. Akhil Bharatiya Adhivakta Parishad is an organization which is working with a mission to channelize the energy of the lawyers throughout this country towards nation building, towards the better India, towards a better Bharat. और आज क्योंकि हिंदी दिवस है, तो इस दिवस के उपलक्ष्य में आप सभी को मैं हार्दिक शुभकामनाएं और हार्दिक बधाई देती हूँ. Converting challenges into opportunities. Ankita called me and she fixed up the date and time for celebrations of Foundation Day. And then she again called that, ma'am, the date and the time has to be changed. I said, Ankita, I've already started preparing for my delivery. So it is up to you. The ball is in your court. You may decide any date, any time, and I'm there to speak because it's now my turn. It is my function. So when I was thinking about taking these challenges to opportunities, I thought of that I will discuss about digital infrastructure. I will discuss about digital resources. I will discuss about digital training, especially in the remote areas, in the courts of Munsif, in the courts of talukas. But then I thought that I'm not addressing the small courts, the remote courts. I'm addressing the lawyers of the Supreme Court of India, who are well equipped, who are well versed, and who are well digitalized as far as, and we can see that this function on all the platform, this function is being published today. So I thought over it, and I changed the topic which I had planned earlier. As a member, National Human Rights Commission, I came across many complaints, many cases in which I found that one of the things which lacks quite a lot is the forensic science examination. And I thought that let me share my thoughts and ideas on this topic in today's function. So let me first begin with some of the important and the popular cases which were resolved or solved by the forensic science. One such case is an old case, Naina Sahni murder case, which is also popularly known as Tandoor Kand. In this Naina Sahni was burnt in tandoor of a hotel, and nothing remained. It was only the ashes. It was difficult to identify as to whose person's ashes are they. But then DNA or the forensic science, which identified that this burnt ashes are that of Naina Sahni. And second case is also very popular, that is of Ponti Chadda, who was a liquor baron. Both the brothers killed each other with the help of their associates, and both were killed. From the postmortem report, 3 bullets each of both the brothers were found. I mean, there were 6 bullets. And when they were matched with the weapons which were recovered from the spot and the cartridges which were recovered from the spot, 5 bullets matched, but 1 bullet could not match. Then the prosecution thought of it that this bullet has been shot by another person, not the person who were under the suspicion of the prosecution. And then on the basis of that, another person was arrested who was having his own official revolver, and he also became an accused because of the forensic, because of the research by the examination by the forensic team. And third, very recent case of Nirbhaya, when Nirbhaya was raped and injured inside a bus. That bus was recovered. But when the prosecution reached to the bus, it found that the entire bus had been washed away. There was no evidence left in that bus. Then the prosecution agency, they unscrewed the chassis of the bus. They unscrewed the seats of the bus. And after removing the seats and chassis, they found the blood, they found the hair, they found other evidences from the bus. And these evidences, when they were matched with the accused and with the victim, the forensic link was established. The evidence and the accused or the victim, the links were established, which helped in proving those cases, this Nirbhaya case against the accused persons. So it is being said that it is not the gravity of sentence that deterrs, but it is the certainty of sentence that deters the accused. So any system is robust, is impactful only when it is certain. So certainty of sentence matters a lot. In 2018, the Prime Minister Office has requested the Law Commission to suggest changes in CRPC as well as in the procedure for conducting postmortem to ensure that the trials and the trial in the heinous crimes ends up in convicting the accused persons. And effective forensic backup certainly can ensure higher conviction rates and will ensure that the poor innocent persons are not falsely implicated, falsely conflicted, falsely convicted in order to save some rich and influential person. So though two purposes can serve, the conviction of the accused and protection of a innocent person who is poor, who is marginalized. And in some of the crimes, this forensic area is indispensable. And to begin with is the murder or the bodily injury cases. Ballistic examination, examination of the weapons, examination of the pistol or the knife which is recovered, which is used for the crime. After the postmortem, the viscera, which is sent to the CFSL to know the cause of the death, to know the reason of the death. And in some of the cases, as was being done in Naina Sahni cases, identification of the deceased becomes a issue. Then this forensic science helps in identifying the deceased by matching the DNA, etc. And second comes the rape. Rape is essentially an area where forensic works very well. The vaginal swab from the victim's vagina, the vaginal swab, even from a deceased victim, even if the victim has died, the collection of vaginal swab and collection of the clothes of the victim, which she was wearing at the time of rape, the samples of the sperms to be collected from the named accused or the known accused. And with this forensic evidence, the examination by the forensic science or the forensic lab can connect, can link the accused with the crime, and it's certainly a very useful and very important evidence for convicting the accused. Other areas where the forensic works are like fingerprinting, collecting the samples of fingerprinting, cyber crimes, and nowadays, which we see day in and day out, the crimes are detected by the CCTV cameras. I mean, the photography, the videography which was captured by the CCTV camera, that becomes the basis for identifying the criminals, for filing the cases against the criminals. Similarly, the video recording done by the phones in the videos, the audio recording in the phones, all these things, you know, this uh, which recorded, connected, collected. It is only the forensic which can prove, which can say with authority whether the person who has been convicted is a real person who has been captured in the camera, whether the voice of the person who has been convicted, the voice is the same which has been recorded in the camera. So this is an emerging field of video and audio recording, and forensic can certainly be very useful because everybody denies that it is not my voice or this is not me, this is more. So forensic can play a very important role in that. And but what we see in day-to-day practice, that the prosecution or the police agencies are not equipped to deal with the forensic science, because of which, because of lack of knowledge, the police fails to collect the forensic samples from the site of the crime. Even if the forensic samples are collected, they are collected very late, and the way in which the forensic samples are preserved in the police station, that is also not scientific, and it takes time for the police to take these samples and take them to the forensic lab. It takes a lot of time. Even at the forensic labs, the situation is not rosy. It takes months and time, years for forensic labs to come up with the report of the forensic, which samples have been given to the forensic labs. And I may tell you that there are seven forensic labs run by the central government. Ministry of Home Affairs, the nodal agency, which looks after the Directorate of Forensic Sciences. And these 6 labs are in Pune, Guwahati, Bhopal, Chandigarh, Kolkata, and Hyderabad. And one of the lab is in New Delhi, which is dedicated to CBI. In the states, there are state-run labs, which are 32 in number. There are delays in examination, and I'm quoting 2 examples. One of the data which is shared by the Directorate of Forensic Sciences Services, that is DFSS. In December 2017, this directorate has given a data that around 12,000 DNA samples from sexual assault cases are awaiting examination in only 3 of the 6 labs. I mean, out of 3 national forensic labs, 12,000 DNA samples of sexual assault were waiting examination. Similarly, the Maharashtra government in December 2017 had given the data that around 17,361 pending cases are there, which are awaiting examination by the forensic labs. And keeping in mind that fall in conviction rate because of pendency in examination or not good examination by the forensic lab, in 2015, the Maharashtra government has decided to set up forensic labs in each of the districts. And when I was being introduced, I should have also been introduced that before joining commission, I was the national vice president of Adhivakta Parishad. And my association with Adhivakta Parishad goes back since 2000. So Dattopanji Thengri, I've worked with Dattopanji Thengri. I remember those movements, those times. So whenever we were discussing, we used to discuss the issues in Adhivakta Parishad. And I remember Bharatji would always say that, okay, you have discussed a problem, but the discussion can be concluded only when you also suggest solution to the problem. So the solution to the problem is the mantra of Adhivakta Parishad, as a topic also suggests opportunities from the challenges. So I am also there with the solution. That's the reason why I thought of discussing this topic from this platform. And my proposed solution or the remedy to make the forensic labs more effective and more efficient is, and my this opinion or remedy is also based on the heads of the forensic institutes, and that remedy or advice or recommendation is that let forensic be introduced as a subject in law. The forensic be introduced as a subject at bachelors of law, and forensic be introduced as a subject and masters of law. Let there be postgraduate diploma in forensic, and this education, post graduation or diploma at forensic, will not only be able to have qualified lawyers with forensic backgrounds who can fill up the vacancies at the forensic labs, but this will also help the lawyers who will become public prosecutors will be in a better position to understand the forensic. The lawyers who will be defending complainants or the defense will be in a better position. The judges with this forensic training during their education would be in a better position to do justice with the forensic science. Even the prosecution agencies, the police, etc., with knowledge of forensic, they would be much better in a position to do the collection of sampling, etc. And for lawyers, it will open up a new channel of remuneration, a new channel of income. As we say, in this time, we need to look into the different aspects. So forensic can be, because there are many private forensic labs also. It is not an area of prosecution and state where the forensic works. The forensic services are also utilized by the private people, by the companies, by other agencies. So for lawyers, it will be another area of giving an advice and working professionally in the area of forensics. And this, when I'm discussing this, then I may also take it further that this suggestion of incorporating forensic as a course in law can be given or to the Bar Council of India. It can be given to the Ministry of Law and to the Law Commission, and because it comes under the nodal ministry of Ministry of Home Affairs. So these are the concerned departments who are capable of responding to this request. And by the time this request of introducing forensic as a subject in law takes its own time, so Akhil Bharatiya Adhivakta Parishad can work on this, can draft a small information training module, which will have the information about the forensics in very simple, easy language in bullet points, and it should be translated in all the local languages, in all languages, and understandable by a common lawyer. And the lawyers can have conferences or training on this area of law, that is forensics. The lawyers at the state level can also adopt the state-run forensic lab, go there, seek the information by filing the Right to Information Acts as to how many vacancies are there, and then follow it up to ensure that the vacancies in those forensic labs are being fulfilled, and enable those forensic labs to work more efficiently and more effectively. And there are two things which, to my understanding, are very limited in supply. And these two things are time and energy. Let us stop spending energy on justice for SSR, Riya Chakravarti, and Kangana Ranaut, and channelize our energies in enabling a justice delivery system which is robust enough to ensure justice to each and every average Indian. Let us work for that system. And I conclude, as it was being said by Subodh in the beginning about constitution, I'm also concluding by quoting Baba Sahib Bhimrao Ambedkar, and I quote, however good a constitution may be, if those who are implementing it are not good, it will prove to be bad. However bad a constitution may be, if those implementing are good, it will prove to be good. Thank you so very much for your patience. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for your kind words, ma'am. These insights will definitely fill the lacunas pointed out by you in the system. Thank you also for giving the importance of forensic science and forensic study in the field of criminal justice system. Definitely, ma'am. If we adopt your suggestions, that would give us a much effective judicial system. Moving further, I would request Ms. Bharati Tyagi ji, member executive of Supreme Court Unit Adhivakta Parishad, to give an introduction of Sri Sreenivasa Murthy. Over to you, Bharati.
Thanks, Subodhji. Good evening and namaskar to all. I, on behalf of the Adhivakta Parishad Supreme Court Unit, am honored to introduce our keynote speaker for the Foundation Day celebration of Akhil Bharatiya Adhivakta Parishad. Sreenivasa Murthy ji did his Masters in Physics from Delhi University, North Campus in the year 1983 to 1985. After completing his Masters, Sreenivasa Murthy ji pursued law from Osmania University at Hyderabad. While pursuing law, he also joined Telugu Daily as a journalist. Sreenivasa Murthy ji was enrolled with the Bar Council of Andhra Pradesh in the year 1989. Sreenivasa Murthy ji was associated with retired Honorable Justice S. Parvat Rao and Shri V. Rama Rao, advocate and former governor of Sikkim. Sreenivasa Murthy ji is an activist lawyer who works as a pressure group for fishermen, downtrodden and marginalized section of the society in the state of Andhra Pradesh. To satisfy his passion for social service, he also associated with various NGOs. At present, Sreenivasa Murthy ji is the working president of Akhil Bharatiya Adhivakta Parishad. Now, I request to Sreenivasa Murthy ji to enlighten us on the today's topic. Over to you, sir.
Good evening. Hope I'm audible.
Yes.
Am I audible?
Yes, yes.
Yes, sir.
Good evening to everyone. And it's a pleasant surprise that today happens to be Hindi Divas. Hardik Shubhkamnaye. And I'm not a very good speaker in Hindi. I may land up in some troubles if we use the wrong words. So that's the reason. Now, challenges, how to turn into opportunities. It looks like more like a personality development topic. If anyone wishes to hear such personal development topics, they can switch off and walk up. We just discussed about organization issues, etc. The first challenge for all of you is to hear me after Jyotika ji. Jyotika ji is well known and she has been active and she had contributed a lot. After that, me coming from a remote town. So it's a challenge for you to listen, an opportunity to develop patience for all of you. Then when I speak, I can see only 4 or 5 Nachiketa ji and other Bharati ji, Jyotika ji, etc. I'm sure I'll be looking over my shoulder like this, Bharat ji and Jaideep Rai ji, all of them will be over my shoulders looking at me, what this guy is doing here. I'm privileged and honored that the cream of the Indian lawyers, the Supreme Court fraternity, had decided to invite me to speak. I'm rather privileged. And we're talking about challenges and opportunities and system. Are there challenges? Now Jyotika was speaking about specific issue. Many people must have spoken about this digital era, video conferencing challenges, how to get along, how to cope up, all these things. But the latest challenge for all of us has been the recent crisis, let's say situation in Supreme Court, where criminal contempt was initiated. Many we had discussed, and anywhere our people from Kerala to Assam, everywhere, we have been asked, what is that? What is the stand of your organization? That's a challenge for us to take a stand. And remember, that was a very vitiated atmosphere. Let's be frank, I think all of you have been practicing in the Supreme Court, you know how vitiated the things can be. So people would say, either you are with me or with the enemy. Both sides. People who are taking sides have kept on saying that, hey, you are with me or they with the enemy. You don't have a neutral place. I think most of you must have gone through the vision mission stuff. There we had specifically stated that it is the duty of Adhivakta Parishad as well as all of us to see that the faith of the helpless common man is sustained and nurtured in the constitutional system and the courts in particular. The faith. The latest controversy, has it really restored the faith? Some people would say that man was wrong. He was taking the whole system to brinkmanship. Someone would say that these people didn't have mercy. Merchant of Venice talks about mercy as being twice blessed. Why I'm saying is that we must realize the fact that all the people are human beings. The people who are on the bench and who are we also. There are bound to be certain deficiencies, certain fault lines are bound to be there because it's a big country, people come from various backgrounds. In that process, as Adhivakta Parishad, the challenge is to see that this episode has not dented the faith of the common citizen in the system. That is the challenge for us. So then what has the next one is opportunity. We must be able to stand up and say, we are not happy with the situation. We are not here to be judgmental. It's easy for me to pass a judgment. This man was brinkmanship, this man was so-and-so, this man was rude, that man was so-and-so. It's easy for me to say. But when I speak out, as an organization, as an individual, we are guarded to see that the system's image should not be dented. That is the reason we took it up as a challenge and opportunity to interact with various, I think all of you must have done so, various people. There is one person who takes the issue to the brinkmanship, like a person who's sitting on a tree branch which gives him the fruits every day. And just because the fruit was not sweet that day, started cutting down the branch. It's like that. And the elderly persons who should have been like, luckily, the Attorney General came and saved the situation to some extent. Somewhere lines should have been drawn. Somewhere someone crossed, and many of us, we maintained our restraint, and that was a challenge. In this process, when we talk about challenge and opportunity, we are trying to bring a new narrative. I repeat the word, narrative has to be changed. The narrative has been dominated, dictated by a group, a bunch of 10 to 15 people. 10 to 15 or let's say 24 of people in Supreme Court. They have been trying to dictate the narrative. They have been dictate the agenda. When we talk about different narrative, we have to talk about new facts which people forget and conveniently forget. I'll give you one example. Ideological issue, I would say. For last 3 or 4 months, people have been speaking about one great poet, a writer, an intellectual from Andhra Pradesh has been put in jail in Maharashtra, in Koregaon, Bhim Koregaon case. He is an intellectual, sir. He is a writer, sir. He is a poet, sir. So what is that you are going to do? The narrative is a challenge is that we must be able to confront this narrative. The opportunity is to get back to our roots. Same town from Warangal he comes. Note down. Same town from Warangal he comes. 1979, Vinod Kumar Jha, an engineering student in Regional Engineering College, now it is called National Institute of Technology, Warangal. He put a picture of Swami Vivekananda on his hostel door, right? And that day he was asked to remove it. He said, no, I will not remove it. He was, during dinner time, he was made to lie on the dining table. He was cut into pieces by the left-wing extremists. And this poet was their mentor, was their guide. After 4 years of that killing of Vinod Kumar Jha, during Republic Day celebrations, national flag was burned. No one was ready to give. In a campus, Karti University campus, one young boy, law student, would have been with you and with me by this time. He opposed it, he fought, then he gave evidence. He was massacred outside the court campus. This great poet, this great intellectual, this great writer and activist, he was the person who was guiding those killers. He was the person who was guiding these boys, who killed these two young fellows, who dared to say Bharat Mata Ki Jai. What I am saying is that opportunity is to learn about certain facts which are conveniently pushed down the carpet by the shrill shouting brigade, Tukde Tukde gang. They talk about it. When you talk about these two issues, let us see how they answer. This is the challenge. The opportunity is to realize what has been our ideological moorings. Why are we here? We are not here on a picnic. Let's be frank about it. It's a nice evening, good place, and all of you had given up the evening 1 hour regular tea time and sitting here before the screens, listening to Jyotika and myself, some others. The challenge is to introspect ourselves, get back to our roots. As Adhivakta Parishad document says, the Constitution, the laws, and our system of jurisprudence, etc., must reflect the soul and spirit of this land. That is what we are here for. How is this different from other lawyers' organizations? How is so many lawyers' organizations in Supreme Court, I won't name, many people will be having so many shops around there making hell of a money. How are we different? We have gathered as an organization for national renaissance. As Swami Vivekananda says, national renaissance. And we must know our cultural roots, our society's fault lines, and try to get back to see that some of them are corrected. In this process, we must remember that young boys and girls had given up their lives. Have you heard of, long back, 4 young pracharaks who were kidnapped in Tripura? Northeast. They were kidnapped. They were killed. They were massacred. And I was telling about those 2 young boys who were killed in Warangal for saying Bharat Mata Ki Jai. And go to Tamil Nadu. An auditor who comes out of the office is killed. And he is branded as a demagogue by the great national daily out there. Go down to Kerala. You've seen enough of, you must have heard how young people have been killed in their classrooms, in the college campuses, etc. Move to Gujarat. Everyone talks about post-Godra. We still remember how those innocent children and women and elderly people are burnt alive in a bogie. And 1990, go back to Uttar Pradesh. People must be, just remember, try to meet some people from Uttar Pradesh. 1990, Mullah Mulayam was the chief minister there. Now, how the whole Uttar Pradesh was turned into a jail, how trains were stopped, people were dragged out, and 90 October, remember the two Kothari brothers who were of the disputed structure and were shot dead. And those unnamed, at least 100 to 150 people, unnamed persons who had come from all over the country to Ayodhya that day, they were killed, massacred, put in gunny bags. Those gunny bags are dumped in Saryu River. Those gunny bags were dumped into Saryu River. None of these activists, none of the people who are talking about rights, none of the people who are talking about human rights ever dared to speak all these days. Ever speak on this. That's the question of changing the narrative comes from there. When we know our cultural roots, when we know about the sacrifices of the youngsters, all over the country, I just gave you 5 or 6 examples, all over the country, who were ready to sacrifice their excellent career. All of them are 20, 30 years boys, brilliant boys, who could have made a hell of a money by this time, who could have gone up this time, getting into posts or something like that. Irrespective of the difficulties ahead, hundreds of people have sacrificed their life, their lifestyle, and they've been working for the society to make this Bharat Mata great. On this day, we must remember, be able to recall their services, their sacrifices, and the challenge is, as I think some of you must have been there, in July we had one National Executive Council, and Ankumarji was saying, the real challenge is how to change the narrative, how to bring in new facts, how to bring new ideas into the system. Now, how do we do that? As simple as that, you can always say, as Adhivakta Parishad, organize ourselves to do the real challenge. For the Supreme Court unit especially is, I repeat the words, the real challenge before the Supreme Court unit is that next year, by this time again when we meet, we must be able to say, discuss among ourselves, saying that, yes, the Adhivakta Parishad activists had taken up various issues from environmental degradation to the tribal rights, to the fishermen community, to the Dalits who were unheard, and the girls who were facing persecution in so many homes, and the unknown women who are literally languishing in jails in most inhuman conditions. Jyotika Kalra will be able to guide us. And I still remember we had a nationwide workshop in Kanyakumari on human rights. Madhav Menanji was there. He was saying the advocates are the really powerful, influential people who influence the thinking of the society, and they represent the aspirations of the society. They don't know, the society doesn't know how to express, the lawyers help them out. And the cream of the legal community, I think I am interacting with them. And there, 3 people were speaking about migrant labor. We are discussing about various issues which should be taken up by Adhivakta Parishad on human rights angle, etc. I still had that notes. Migrant labor. And remember what we had seen in the recent pandemic and how migrant labor, what are the difficulties. So we had an inkling about it. The challenge is that the real issues which really bother the society, which hurts the conscience of society, those issues we must be able to take up. Those issues we must be able to fight the long legal battles in Supreme Court. Please remember that I was repeating again. Hundreds and thousands of workers at grassroots level, every day, they face humiliation, they face the risk. They face the risk of not only life, they face the risk of their career. They face the risk of losing money. They face so many hard times. Only the hope that they are striving in the right direction to serve the society in this country. They are all the nationalistic organizations, their activists are there throughout the country. And when they know that the Supreme Court unit of 300 to 400 lawyers, well trained, skills enhancing aware, are there to help them, they will usher in a change. And we, as advocate fraternity, we will be able to stand with them, say that we are with you. And I still recall one incident, one case come to Hyderabad. Someone from Rajasthan was brought in. The police, typical NIA in those days, asked him to say some names, etc. So he was demoralized, to be frank. We met him in the trial court, and I told him, I'm so and so, so and so. This man is Bar Council president, this man is Bar Association president, this man is. Then he said, "Sir, आप सब लोग मेरे लिए आए हैं, आपके लिए आए, आप भारत माता सेवा के लिए काम कर रहे हैं." Sir, I face a difficulty, sir. I just received that my mother is sick. I was depressed. I told something, but now he has to give a statement. Go to the magistrate. He was asked to go before the magistrate, and he was supposed to give the 164 statement. And then in those days, someone was monitoring these things from Delhi. The man who was behind the bar for some time now. Okay, the great man from Tamil Nadu. He was monitoring it. And this Rajasthan guy said, "Sir, theek hai." And he went in. And he said, "Refused. I'm not going to name anyone. All this is false, sir. We have been brought in." Then those security people came out and said, "Aap Adhivakta log, you just talked to him for 5 minutes and you gave back his inner strength. You gave back his old strength to fight back and stand all the difficulties, withstand all the difficulties." And now that is the reason why the advocates make a change. That's what the security man, senior IPS officer, laughed off, patted on our shoulders and went off. Then I asked him why. He said, "Sir, aap Akhil sahab aa gaya sahab. Now you are with me. Now I'll face anything. I won't bother about anything happening." So, he was a very inspirational man. Lucky he did some good work and he has helped us to tide over the crisis. Why I'm giving this instance is, one more thing, so many commissions of inquiry would come in, like some of the Adhivaktas daily, right? Some advocates have done some excellent work. So when such situations arise, please make it convenient. It's a challenge that we have to attend to our clients, we have to attend to the whimsical judges, colleague advocates, all those things. And in that process, we stand up. It's a challenge for us. And please try to develop certain skills, interest in the field whichever is like this. Like we have someone in many high courts I've seen, people who do a lot of corporate law. They say, "Hey, we won't get into all these things." But he will come and argue for the temple matter. He will come and argue for a rescue home girls. The senior advocate who doesn't have time for anything, he will come and argue for one. You have seen Swami Kanchi Shankaracharya Jayendra Saraswati. So every advocate whom we interact over a coffee table in Supreme Court has an inner urge to do something for society, has got in his subconscious mind that he must do something for society in a positive work. All we have to do is just click the right window, it will open up all the opportunities. The challenge is to search situation, analyze the situation, click the right window, you will have a lot of opportunities. People will come out, openly associate with us, do a lot of work. I'm telling you, next time you'll be having a bigger gathering, I'm sure, physical gathering with more than 500 people, and half an hour will be spent by Supreme Court unit to give the success stories, how they have changed each issue, how they have changed the narrative. I'm telling you that once we change the narrative, once we start talking about issues in a different angle, nationalistic perspective, things would change. The thought process of the legal institution also would change. Let us example, just 3 hours back in Andhra Pradesh High Court at Vijayawada, someone was coming and saying the typical left-wing extremists, they were killed, this. The judge, Rakesh Kumarji from Patna, he was here. He was hitting the bell. He said, okay, I'll ask NIA to inquire into your own activities, the petitioner's activities, what you have been doing for 10 years, how you have managed all these resources, etc. Immediately he said, no, sir, this way, that way. The anti-nationals, the people who want to rip apart the social fabric of this country have been using this platform of courts, especially the Supreme Court. They have a monopoly over that. Now it's a challenge for us to oppose it, bring in a new narrative, a positive mind, positive approach, and see that appropriate issues of social importance, helpless people, can name all the things from spirituality to people, subaltern communities. We have to take up the issues, and that's an opportunity. And thank you all for putting with me, and thanks for all the people who haven't switched up and still stayed back. Thank you, Varada. Over to you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your encouraging words, and thank you for helping us identifying real problems faced by the Supreme Court unit and giving solutions. So your words will definitely act like beacon for all of us, and I'm sure we'll work harder to fulfill your expectations. As you said, sir, we have to secure the faith of common man in the system, especially judicial system. We will definitely work hard for securing the same. Moving further, I request Ms. Rashmi Singhania ji, Mahila Pramukh of Adhivakta Parishad Supreme Court Unit, to give vote of thanks.
Namaskar.
Over to you, Rashmi ji.
Thank you, Subodh ji. First of all, I, on behalf of Adhivakta Parishad Supreme Court Unit, would like to convey my thanks to the esteemed speakers for today's function. Mr. Sreenivasa Murthy ji, Working President, Akhil Bharatiya Adhivakta Parishad, and Ms. Jyotika Kalra ji, Member, NHRC. Sreenivasa Murthy ji has enlightened us on the organization's objectives, goal, and its achievement. Thank you, sir, for your motivational speech, and we would always endeavor to work towards working towards the nation building process. Jyotika Kalra ma'am has highlighted about the lack of forensic science examinations due to which the accused goes scot-free. It was a delight that ma'am shared her memories as National Vice President of Akhil Bharatiya Adhivakta Parishad. Thank you, ma'am. I would also like to thank all the members of the Supreme Court unit on and off the virtual dais, our senior members whose constant support and guidance enabled us to conduct today's program. I would also like to thank all our team members, the calling team, the technical team, who worked tirelessly to make this program a huge success. Last but not the least, I would also like to thank all the viewers for watching this program. I would request all the viewers to subscribe our YouTube channel and follow our channel on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter to stay tuned to our activities. Thank you. Subodhji.
Thank you, Rashmiji. Before concluding today's program, I request everyone to rise for national anthem. Anveshaji, please.
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता। पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड़ उत्कल बंगा। विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्छल जलधि तरंगा। तब शुभ नामे जागे तब शुभ आशीष मांगे। गाहे तब जय गाथा जन गण मंगल दायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता। जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे। Thank you.